Alrighty, so we just got done watching the JP live stream, and it seems like people are very mixed opinions on whether or not this is a good collab or not, and I can completely understand. It seems very iffy, seems very back and forth. If you don't know already, it is a Mushoku Tensei collab, which is very interesting, very cool. I am not 100% sure on the characters yet. Like, we have translations for them and everything. I'm definitely going to have to wait and see kind of how they look in game first, but we can kind of go over their skills a little bit. We can look at Rudeus's, if I didn't test if this was going to play or not. Oh boy, I don't think it's going to. Either way, we might just not watch their ultimate animations. I will leave a link to the patch notes just in case you would like to. Honestly, all of the ultimate animations are kind of lackluster. If I'm being 100% honest with you, they didn't really like wow me or anything. They seemed kind of basic in some regards, but either way, we have the brand new character, main character, Rudeus here. All of the characters are either red or green. It's 2 reds, 2 green units, no blue units for whatever reason. But we have Rudeus here, which is his passive. For each human ally, increases basic stats by 10%. Before using an attack skill, grants 1 magic ball, which is a gray debuff that actually gets applied to the unit itself. If a melee attack is used, cancel all magic ball effects. So you basically have to use him with ranged characters, and they have to be human, which is a bit niche. I'm not 100%, a big fan of that. They're making these characters really specific for whatever reason. When the hero reaches 5 magic balls, increases crit chance by 50% and damage dealt by 30%, which is pretty big. And then for each magic ball, increases the single target damage by 20%, which is pretty big. That's quite a lot of damage increase. His relic increases attack-related stats by 5% for each magic ball on the hero, so that's also a lot of stats. If you have, that's 25% basic stats if you have, or not basic stats, 25% attack-related stats if you have full stacks. And then his first skill is an AoE flood card. They did show off a little bit of PvP, and it was pretty busted. It looked like it one-shot 2 different characters on the unknown team, but then again, the unknown team that they used wasn't like super great, to be honest with you, so I'm not 100% sure on how good it's actually going to be. We'll definitely be looking at that tomorrow when the characters come out on JP. His second skill is an AoE Infect card, which is kind of interesting, I guess. I'm not really 100% sure on why they decided to give him an Infect, but I'll take it. Infects are normally pretty good in the meta right now. His ultimate is pretty whale heavy, I assume. I don't know exactly. Well, I guess you can see how it stacks here. It looks like you're going to get 1 magic ball on 1, 2, and 3, 2 on 4 and 5, and then at max level you get 3 stacks, and the damage is of course pretty high. It doesn't look like the magic ball damage actually increases, which is really good, I think, unless that's just written somewhere else. His ultimate applies 3 magic balls and deals damage equal to 525% of attack on all enemies. So, huge hitting AoE card here. Increases damage dealt by 30% for each magic ball on the hero. I was expecting this damage dealt to get increased relative to the ultimate level, but it doesn't look like it says that anywhere, which means that it might not be as whaley. I guess the biggest thing is that if you already have 5 stacks of his passive, I assume this is going to give him 8 stacks of his passive if you have a 6/6 ultimate, which could end up making it a bit more whale heavy, of course, but I think if you have max passive, you're probably going to one-shot if it still stacks on 30% anyway. So I guess that's a bit of a win for the community. You're not going to have to summon as much as you might, want to. I don't know exactly. Eris, on the other hand, is the free unit that we're getting for this patch, and she is a PvE only unit, which is very interesting. I think a lot of people are kind of upset about it, which is rightfully so. She's like a really aggressive character in the show, and the fact that they're making her PvE only is really dumb. Plus, they're restricting her by quite a bit by making it to where she basically has to be ran with Rudeus. So, her passive is, in PvE, for each applicable ally, increases attack-related stats by 10% and damage dealt by 15%. Applicable allies are strength attribute human allies, which is really restrictive. I'm not 100% sure why they're being so locked down on these. I don't know if they were just like, hey, Kizuna was the free unit for, the Shield Hero collab, and she was really good, so we're just going to make this character way worse. But she doesn't work in Demonic Beast Battle. She doesn't work in PvP. She's I don't know what good she's really going to be, to be honest. She's not going to be any better than running any other character that's PvE only. I don't know. Not a big fan of this character, to be honest. Her relic is increases damage dealt by 10% for each magic ball on Rudeus, so it makes it even more restrictive where you have to run her with Rudeus because her whole relic effect won't be used at all if you don't. So that's really stupid. Not a fan of that. She has a triple crit chance card, so a sever single target. And she has removes buffs and stances and deals damage equal to 210% of attack on all enemies on her AoE card, her second card. So the fact that I guess it removes buffs and stances, I don't know how that's going to scale. I assume that's only on level 3, but an AoE buff removal is nice, but there's not a whole lot of scenarios where you even really need that. More relevantly, I did use an AoE buff removal in one of the new Tower of Trials floors, so I guess it might be an okay example to use it there, but her ultimate is a single target flood card, which I'm getting really sick of flood cards. I told the stream that flood cards were kind of becoming played out at this point, and once characters take damage, flood cards really start to hit a lot worse, so I'm just not a big fan of them anymore, but the second two characters do not have flood. Next up we have Roxy, who I think a lot of people were interested in summoning for, just because she's, I guess, like a waifu. So Roxy is passive. At the start of the battle, gives unknown allies a shield based on 200% of the hero's attack, so kind of, sort of like, she puts up a shield kind of, sort of like Festival King. She is an unknown character. She's an unknown buffer. Of course, you can kind of glean that already. The same effect is granted again on the following turns. Increases attack-related stats by 20% for the heroes whose shield isn't broken. So using single-target attacks against this team is going to be bad. You're going to want to use AoEs if possible, so that way you can break the shield on everyone so they don't get attack-related stat buffs. Her relic is reduces damage taken of allies by 20% who are affected by the hero's shield. So you would think that that would be pretty decent, but during the PvP showcase that they did, Excalibur Arthur's AoE broke her shield. So that means it's not very strong. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it was just the team that they were using. We'll have to kind of wait and see how that kind of turns out, I guess, with real players messing around with them, or just maybe different team comps. Her skills are ultimate deplete, single target, just straight up ult deplete. It's not a dissolve, which is, I think, good. I like that a little bit more than dissolve. AoE pierce card, which is cool, and then the ultimate is reduces enemy stats by 160%, which is crazy. It's not, except for basic stats, it's only substats, but that's a huge cut to stats. Inflicts damage equal to 700% of attack on all enemies. So it looks like it scales terribly. 30% on level 1, all the way up to 160% on level 3, or on level 6. So that's pretty rough. I guess you would probably want to have her at least around the 4.6 to 6.6 mark if you really wanted big damage, cuts from her passive there. Or just big stat cuts, I guess. Last but not least, we have Ghyslaine, who is Muscle Cat Girl. A lot of people are, were simping in my chat for that. So if you're interested in cat girls and strong ones, this is your character. She is PvP only, you can see. Her passive is, for each unknown ally, increases basic stats by 7% at the start of the battle, marks the enemy with the highest CC. Enemies marked can only attack Ghyslaine, so it's kind of like Coerce, which is really cool from Galen's passive, which hasn't been used since Galen came out, and I think it's a really cool mechanic, so I think that is really neat. But normally the highest CC means it's the strongest character, and making them attack Ghyslaine, kind of sus. So, very odd there. Increases damage dealt to marked enemies by 40%, and marked enemies who will attack will have their attack-related stats lowered by 30%. Problem is, if it's Escanor, if it's Mael, or an Angel team in general, they can't be stat lowered, so that is a huge miss. Not really sure on that. The fact that they're giving characters immunity to stat lowers nowadays is very bad for the meta, I think, because characters like this are going to get crapped on. So, her relic increases damage dealt by single target skills each time they are used by 20% with a maximum of 3 times. So 60% damage increase is kind of big. I'm sure she'll be able to hit really hard if she survives. Skill 1 is a single target Pierce card, which is cool. Pierce cards normally hit really hard in general. Skill number 2 is a single target stance removal card, so could be helpful for getting rid of stances on the team, of course. Her ultimate is an AoE Power Strike. The last time we had a character like this, I'm pretty sure, was Terry Bogard from the KOF collab, and it was a really good ult at the time. I don't know how well it's going to translate nowadays, but that is kind of where we're at. Let me move my camera a little bit out of the way. But yeah, that is the character's sort of skills and everything. Hopefully that is insightful in some way. The banner, on the other hand, is absolute ass. There is a whole bunch of old bad characters in here. You do have a couple of one-offs, I guess, like Ragnarok Bon is pretty good. Nanashi is now good because of his Holy Relic. You have Jormungandr in here, but none of the other Demonic Beast characters for whatever reason. You have Brunhild, Seasonal, Elat for whatever reason. I don't know. It's a very odd lineup. Really old characters who are bad, and then a bunch of weird characters. Not really sure on this one. It is a 600 banner, of course. You get to choose what character you want at the end. They are doing a ticket. You have to buy this for, I think it's around $24 US most of the time, and you get one random character. One thing to note, though, is I can't remember exactly where they say it at, but somebody pointed out that the collab banner is 4 weeks long, so that is definitely big. The fact here it is right here, April 27th to May 18th on JP. So because it is 4 weeks long, you have ample time to sort of just wait, chill out. You don't have to summon right away. You can kind of see whether the characters are good or bad, and then you can kind of make your mind up. We should even be able to see the next 2 banners that come out on JP, because there should be a banner that comes out in 2 weeks after this banner, and then if the 4-year anniversary banner starts right after this collab ends, we should be able to see the very beginning of that and whoever is going to be the character for it on global. So not 100% sure if that's how the banner schedule is going to play out, but we at least have a little bit of insight there. So of course we do have the new characters. They do have new Holy Relics. We've already went over that. New ticket bundles, of course. There's new regular bundles. We have improved artifact card set function, which is fine. I'm just going to kind of breeze through this because I'll go over it in full whenever the global patch notes come out. There are 30 free summons. 30 free summon tickets that you get from this collab, so you're going to be able to do 3 multis worth of summons, which is really nice. Honestly, that's probably the most that they've given us for a collab banner in a long time. We do get Eris for free, of course, like I said, so you get some more free tickets and stuff there from the special missions. We are getting a roulette event with some pretty random rewards. You get a free SSR outfit for Rudeus. Later on, we have this sort of, we had this event during, I want to say it was the One Escanor's festival. I think it's kind of cool. It's not anything super crazy. You just kind of have to wait, have your characters sort of build up materials, and then kind of move through the little board or whatever, kind of like a board game. Pretty decent rewards from it, nothing too crazy. We are getting a, I don't know if this is just an event boss or if it's playing out. I don't think it's a final boss. I think it is an event boss. It's kind of like a death match where you can invite a teammate to play with you, but you are going to be getting a free cosmetic set for Eris through this, along with some of the Holy Relic boxes and everything for the characters too. So we're getting a free SSR outfit for Rudeus and Eris, of course, so we're not getting 3 outfits for those that you have to buy or anything like that. The SSR outfits, of course, are able to be purchased with gems like normal, but all collab cosmetics that are you have to pay for with real money, and they do not go on sale for 30 diamonds from my understanding. Costume sets can only be purchased once per account. If you do not own the character, it cannot be equipped. You cannot purchase the costume set by selecting one of the 2 prices, or you can. Purchase items can be viewed. Yeah, so it doesn't say anything about it. I'm pretty sure, even though it is 4 weeks, I'm pretty sure you're only going to be able to buy them with real money, just like every other collab that they've ever done. So just be aware, a little bit of pay to win there. Not too friendly on the free-to-plays, of course. But they do all have cosmetics, of course. The Holy Relics, of course, are there. You get them from these locations, which are not translated, but 2 of them are from the Final Boss. Or, not Final Boss, Deathmatch, sorry. King Exchange event, which is cool. We have a booster event, so you get like double XP and stuff. You can use both of these characters, Rudeus and Roxy, as login characters. They're getting a new Awakened Roxy baseball outfit for their new Hawk Pass, so whenever we get the next one, that should be what it is. New battle event. And then, honestly, a really good piece of news is that they are changing it to where you are going to be able to buy Mael's like Dark Dragoon looking set from the Labyrinth shop, even if you don't own him. So that's a huge W, to be honest, because I know a lot of people were upset that they were, you know, grinding out the materials to get the Labyrinth stuff, and then it said that you couldn't buy it if you didn't have him. So you will be able to get that now, which is fantastic. Make sure that you do that before the Labyrinth ends, of course. But yeah, it's looking like a very interesting collaboration. A lot of people are not very happy with it. I'm kind of waiting to see what the characters look like in PvP and everything, with actual people testing them out, which should be shown tomorrow whenever, you know, the JP players get their hands on them. I might end up doing a react stream tomorrow, just looking over people's content and everything, kind of getting a feel for the characters, so that way I can determine whether or not it's actually good to summon for some of these guys, so that way I can kind of relay that information to you. But that is pretty much it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are of the collab, of course, and yeah, I will catch you guys later on.